First, I want to thank Avram Helberg for schaffen als een matzev gewaltige schuss in de Schmasse, Chatzi en de Brache. Het zal helpen de schussen te lernen, de vertellen, de schmoezen, de schuren, zo alle taken als orgaan de Schmasse te horen. En de schussen zal een bijstellen voor Avrami. Liebe sogar als der Kultur was wirklich gebaut an a few hours that hurt for Chatzi and Roch. I learned to sugi with him quite a few years back. The Mashal that asked a kash on two Rashis. The Rashi of the Kiddush computer not like the Pashtas and the Sugis and Sukkah. There's Gibora and Davdalim and Aleph and Sukkah. Most of the Sukkah, the Mile of Esrim, you want to be Memayit, the Goyva Sukkah. So if you build the Itztava against the back, you have three walls of the sukkah, and you build the Itztava like a platform to make it less than Esrim. So if the Itztava is Zayin Umashu or Zayin Umashu, that's Maksha the sukkah, because that place is a Shiur sukkah, and now it's less than Esrim to the Sach. And once that's kosher, the rest of the sukkah is kosher. It's Pesla Yitzvah. The sukkah is very Maksha, Machal, it's Maksha the rest of the sukkah also. But Rashi chaps on Zayin Umashu, Zayin Umashu. In fact, the Mashal, that Nasach Eretz Sukkah is Mavur, that the Shiur Sukkah is Zayin al Zayin. Why does Rashi happen Zayin Umashu? There's noch a Rashi in the morning with Beis. And the Beis says that if someone builds an Omid in the middle of the Sukkah, it's Yezim Esrim, and he wants to be Maksha the Sukkah, so he builds an Omid, Gevur Yud, and Zayin, the more says, Shiur Sukkah, and Rashi says, weiter, Zayin Umashu or Zayin Umashu, on top of the Omid. And then you have good asik on the walls of the Omid. So now you have, and that's less than, you remind, the top of the Omid is less than Esrim. So now you have on top of the Omid a kosher sukkah, you have a Shiur hechsher sukkah, and from there it's less than Esrim. And once that's kosher, then the rest of the sukkah is kosher, al special yet. So Vaita Rashi over there says, the Shiur sukkah is Zayin Umashu, Zayin Umashu. In fact, the Mashal, as Umatum is before, that the Shiur sukkah is Zayin al Zayin. Why Rashi happen Zayin Umashu? So again, Rashi on the base, Chatzi and Roch was Meir, and I found afterwards the Shiur about some factors. The Chayre, so to me, it was factor Mashal, because in the one on the base, you have to say good asik. You have an Omid, you don't have to find this B'chlal. How you have to find this sukkah, that on the side of the Omid, you say good asik, on all four sides of the Omid, now you have to find this on top of the Omid. If you have to say good asik, you have to be done that a Mashu of the thickness of the Omid goes up on each side to shafa the tallest of the sukkah. So Mela Rashi said you need Zayin Umashu, because in order to shafa Zayin al Zayin, Ducha Garasik, you have to be done that you choytach a Mashu from the edge of the Omid from all sides, and that goes up to say Garasik. So Mela Rashi Zayin Umashu, Zayin Umashu. Also effect the Yeshua Afen Mashal, that was fact the Mashal on Rashi, that Alamol Shiur Sukkah Zayin al Zayin, if other Shiur Sukkah Zayin al Zayin. But when you have to say good asik, so then you need a Mashal more to be able to say good asik, that should still remain with a Shiur Sukkah, you have to say good asik. Rashi Roman Aleph Kipshut is still a Baib Shver, because Rashi Roman Aleph is talking about you have tfanas, you don't need good asik. I have three tfanas, and I made it Itztava according to, along the whole back wall of the sukkah, and I have three tfanas, and there I just have to lower the Goyva sukkah. And the one on the base is talking about making it over the middle of the sukkah. So I have no tfanas. So there you need the asik. Rashi Rav gives it so schwer. But the Mashal fact of beide Rashis. The Churav was fact of Mashal on Rashi, and on the base, the Churav on the base was posh, you have to take the asik. So that was his kipshuter. It's not so poshut, that if you say good asik, you have to be down, ki'ilu, that you cut off a mashu from the Omid, the mashu went up. In the Mashal brings in the Orach two girses. What's meant good asik? One taich good means chatoich, means to cut a mashu and asik and then bring it up. So that girse is mashma, you have to be choitach a mashu from the Omid and be down that goes up. It means another girse, not chatoich, but meshoich. That the word good doesn't mean to cut, the word good means to pull up. So what gekent sagen, it's not muchach, but like that pshat, it's not muchach that you have to be chaytach. And it could be you don't have to be down, the kilu, you cut off a mashru with the mechitza, and that went up. No, you're down that the surface of the Roman has a hilchas mechitza, has a teres mechitza. That's chaytach between the top and the bottom. And now you're down that hilchas mechitza goes up, you don't have to be down. Just like particular marshal, there's no mechitza mamash, no, you're down kilu, a mechitza goes down for the particular. So you're down kilu, the surface of the omid goes up, but you don't have to be down that you're cutting off a mashru from the outside surface. You're down the hilchas mechitza, the teres mechitza, it goes up. So it could be the marshal of aspect of Rashi. Marshal went that good doesn't mean you have to be chaytach, you just have to be moishe. The time to marshal Rashi, that what do you need? Zainu marshal. And again, Rashi number Aleph. Rashi number Aleph is schwer because then you don't need good asik b'chlal. So Dr. Yeshua Chiddush, Dr. Yeshua, that the Gemara brings 3 mandamim in what the psul of Lamayl Me'esim is. One million says because it's Laman Yedu, that until Esimam you know you're sitting in a sukkah, you look up and see the schach. Lamayl Me'esim, ain't on your day sitting in a sukkah. One million says the psul is because that the Teich Esim you're sitting b'tzel schach. If it's more than Esim, you're sitting b'tzel tfanas. And one million says because sukkah is divas arabina. And if you have the schach so high, then you have to make tfanas kviyas that to be able to hold up the schach. So then it's possible because that's already a shiur. The shiur you need is a shiur for kvan, not a shiur for aray. So the Yeshua, according to the last Mount Yomer, Bishlam according to the first 2 Mount Yomer, the psul of Lamayl Me'esim is the psul schach. If the schach is Lamayl Me'esim, you don't know you're sitting under the schach on the sukkah, or if you're not sitting in the tzel schach, it's sitting in the tzel tfanas. So that's halach in schach. So if you're down from the top of the itzvah to the schach, if it's less than Esim, so then you admire the goyva of the schach. So according to the 3rd Mount Yomer, that's halach in diras kvar, so that's halach in the tfanas. That tfanas to hold up schach, Lamayl Me'esim, you need tfanas which are kvadik to be able to hold up tfanas. So that's a psul that tfanas Lamayl Me'esim are possible. So the Yeshua, so what does it help you that you put an itzvah in the middle, but the doif is still standing aside of the itzvah. The doif is still Lamayl Me'esim. So the only way you can be makshir the sukkah is only if you're down, ki'ilu the doif moved in, and now the doif is standing on top of the itzvah. So you need a mashu of the itzvah to be done, that there you can place a doifen. So you need the mashu, nicht als Gurasik, but you need a mashu to be able to be done. There's not a Lamayl Me'esim, you have to be done, kilu, the doifen moved in, and still on top of the itzvah, that's what you need the mashu. Kipshuta, the Yeshua is very schwer. First of all, that's a manoch, the Yeshua names on, that like that mandomer, it's a psul in doifen, is itself a big chiddush. Kipshuta, as everybody says in Rashi, alle psulim in sukkah is alles in schach. The halachas of psulim going to Yaakov, alle dinim can't be mechuber, can't be mechabel tumah. Alle halachas al shem schach dikra sukkah Rashi of your base. Alle psulim only in schach. To say that unless a psul in doifen, kipshus if the pasha alle psul in sukkah. And Rashi, the Peter Rashi is mashma. The more asked the kasha, that he was say if a person will make a sukkah out of Mechitza Basel, it should be possible. So the more it's a shiur, a royal lias. You can't have a shiur if you make it even kviyasdik, but it's a shiur royal lias ara it's kosher. It's a shiur royal the need for kvar it's possible. So Rashi says, "Lo yikpid the Torah our ara l'shem shiur, los l'cha shiur begoyva shetei yichol lamoid al yidei yisei this ara." So Rashi is going on the schach. Shetei yichol. Rashi says yicholim lamoid the tfanas. Rashi says the schach yichol lamoid. They says ara. That means the schach should be able to stand. So the pshutoi, what we looked at, even this one, the Omer also holds it's a shiur in schach. The Torah said you have to make the sukkah has to be the other side, which means it can't be a shiur in the goyva schach. A shiur was followed as auch im Mechitza, nicht viesdicke. It's a psul in the goyva schach. Weiter psul schach. The Yeshua is not going to this man, the Omer, it's a psul falas. A shmuz beve'ans by reis lekan. Bakobon, that's the enchid versteht in the Yeshua. But is it them? That's a manoch, a monofshach. If you go with Batsam, why can't you be down? You have an omid. Here's the omid, the itzvah. You put the itzvah on the bottom, and on the side you have a wall. So it has to be done that the itzva goes to here, and then this is the wall. Why can't it be done to cut off? It's a separate piece of wood. If once you make an itzva, and you add another piece of wood to the side of the itzva to make the itzva a little bigger. So that's part of the itzva. So make a taste to be done that this is all the wall, this is the doifen, be done fakert, you cut off over here, and that's the bottom, that's part of the itzva, and then the doifen starts from here. Why do you have to move the doifen in? Be done fakert, that the bottom part is just part of the itzva, and the doifen starts from here. Elamai the Shiur holds that you're down the Metzias. You don't go to the London like be done as bizdor, that's all part of the itzva. So you're down the Metzias. So what does that help you? So London, you're down Kiel, moved in and stood on top of the itzva. But right, if you go to the Metzias, right, there stay on the ground. Wie geht er? If you're going to be can reckon and din, so you can reckon and din the itzva gate bizdor, that the bottom part of that piece of wood is part of the itzva, and then the life starts after that. When you're down, you go past the Metzias. So what's helped us around London, you're down Kiel, moved over. Right, the Metzias to stand on the ground. Verstehst du, was dir für die Schuhe. Aber dann heißt es kaputt schwer, die Schuhe hat dann eins, da wissen schon die Schuhe. Oh, no etzem in Rashi und Beis. Kein Sitz kann einfach was mal. Und wohl kann dann sein, that even the Marsha, the erste Rashi, that what do you need ein Marsha for? The Marsha can also be masking to the tzad in the Marshal, B'Shem the Oruch, you have to be done, you take a cut off your choytach HaMashu and it goes up. And from deswegen, the Marshal still asked that you shouldn't need an Ein Mashu. Why? But there was mir got a starke kasha. I didn't find anybody asked the kasha. I remember I asked this kasha, then was Chatzi, and he told me a post teretz. Steht, that an Omid, B'Shus HaYochid, Gevay Yud, and Rochav Daled has a Shem Sheyochid. Wie wird an Omid B'Shus HaYochid? You don't have a guess why it's so schön. You have an Omid, Gevay Yud, and Rochav Daled. There's no Bechitz on top of the Omid B'Chal. So Rashi says, so Rashi in Tzveet, and Rashi Davov and Beis and Shabbos, and Rashi Dav Petes and Alf and Aaron. Rashi says the way an Omid becomes Shayochid, you say good asik. You say that the walls of the Omid go up. And you have an Omid which has walls on all four sides. The sides of the Omid are Yud and Rochav. You say good asik. And now I have Bechitzas on top of the Omid. That's Shayochid. In Ramban, Reb Chaim learns up the Ramban, and the Ramban halt nicht wie Rashi. The Ramban steht that an Omid, normally the klal is the Shayochid Oilad the Rekia. And Chaim learns the computer the pshat is, because he say good ask the Mechitzas, and then the Mechitza Oilad the Rekia, so maybe it's Koil ad the Rekia, it's not stuck to the Rishus. In Ramban state that an Omid, if you have walls, you have a gate around the Rishus, so then you say Shayochid Oilad the Rekia. On top of an Omid, Zok Ramban, it's only the surface of the Omid itself has Shem Sheyochid. Someone lands on the surface, it's like Mudu Sheyochid. But the Avra Lamala doesn't have Shem Sheyochid. In fact, why not? Wie wird have Sheyochid? Because it's a good ask, but how have Sheyochid? And if once you say good asik, somebody says Sheyochid, what's anders an Omid from time if you have a gate, we have Bechitzas. Zok Chaim, now this is the Gemara in Sukkah. The Gemara we mentioned before that if you have an Omid, Gevay Yud, and Rochav Sheh Sukkah, you say good asik, you have Tfanas and Bechitza, you have Tfanas and Sukkah. Rava thinks Charabayim. And Rava says it doesn't help to say good asik, only Rava be in Mechitza and the Koros for like. Need Mechitza and the Koros, and these aren't Mechitza and the Koros, so it doesn't help. So Dr. Chaim Kipshuti learned the Gemara that Rava's maskim that all over you say good asik on the Mechitza of a tail. Rava just said that for Sukkah you need Mechitza and the Koros. I mean, it's halach in Sukkah, and I say it's more in the Torah in the Sukkah, that Sukkah is not enough to have some Hilchas Mechitza. No, you need Tfanas Mamash, you need Hilchas Doifen. Hilchas Doifen, you need Doifen Mamash. Good asik is only an imaginary Mechitza. For a Teres Mechitza helps us, but Sukkah davon Tfanas Mamash doesn't have what Tfanas. Sagt Rav Chaim, steht da Kol Gemara Benson. The Rav is also masking Tambayi, they say good asik on the tail. Rav just thinks it doesn't help. Look at Sukkah, obviously again Shabbos, and that's some stating boy say good asik. So if you say good asik, so what's halt Ramban that you don't say Shechel Oil Rakia on top of an Amid. If the way an Amid Vet or Shechel is say Grasik, then there's no Grasik. So Mele, so one you have Shechel Rakia. Sagt der Chaim, muss man sagen, that the Ramban has different shot in the Gemara. When the Gemara said, "Bin Mechitz Nekoros," the Gemara is not saying a svara in Mechitzes for Sukkah, in the Tfanas. No, the Gemara has been Chayzer in the whole Hanoche. Abaye said that you say Gur Asik on the tail, and you have Mechitzes for the Sukkah, do Gur Asik. Comes Rava, and Rava says you don't say Gur Asik on the tail. Favos, because there's no Mechitz Nekoros. I mean, Mechitz Nekoros, we have a wall, mamash, you have a gate, you have a fence, you have a wall, then parts of Grasik. Over here, there's no mamoshes for a wall, it's just the side of an Omer. The side of an Omer is not a Mechitz in the chorus, it's not a Mechitz b'fnei atzma, what's a nikra at a Mechitz, it's just the side of a block of an Omer. That's found the Mechitz in the chorus, I would just say Grasik. So the more saying a halacha in Ilchus Grasik, not a halacha in Mechitz, the Sukkah, no, the more Chayzer, Rava dinkt sich up on the whole Yisod of Abai. Abai said you say a good asik on the tail. Rava halt, no zok b'chalos good asik on the tail, because now he's the core. Aloch in good asik, not aloch in faras and bechitza. No schaut, wie wird so shayochet? So darf man sagen, that Leute Ramban, you don't need good asik to make a shayochet. Das heißt, the goiva alone, you have a goiva yud, and you have the sides of the on the tail up, the top from the bottom. If you're standing at the bottom, so you have a mechitz, you're up against the wall, that tails up between the bottom and the top. That's enough to make shayach. So then there's a double machlokes, Rashi and Ramban. The Ramban holds you don't have good asik on the tail, and you don't need good asik to make a shayach. It's only shayach only on top, not the rakia, because you don't have good asik. But it can have a tail shayach even without good asik. Rashi always says that the reason why a tail is rayachid, Rashi says the meaning of good asik mechitz. That means Rashi is not explaining why you say Ola Rekia. Rashi is explaining why b'chlal a tail is rayachid. So Rashi says that without saying good asik, would never tell you shayachid b'chlal. Favos nisht ailamais, I still have the sides of the tail from the bottom. So computer, the post the even of Rashi and the Ramban is, what do you need to give Hashem shayachid? The Ramban holds it's enough as long as it's ogetel toch mechitzes. The top is not mukif mechitzes. I'm standing on top, I don't have mechitzes around me. You don't need to be mukif mechitzes to have Hashem shayachet. It's enough if you ogetel toch mechitzes. And the mechitzes tail up the top and the bottom, because if I'm on the bottom, I'm up against the mechitzes on all four sides, it tails up to the bottom and the top. That's enough to give the shayachet. You don't have a good asim, you don't say it, but to give Hashem shayachet, it's enough that's ogetel mechitzes. Rashi holds that Shayach is not maspik, it should be ogetelt from the Sviva Mechitzes. No, the Mokkah has to be Mukkah Mechitzes. So if I don't have a good asik, I don't have Mechitzes on top of the Omer itself. So mainly you're not a Mukkah Mechitzes. That which I'm ogetelt with Mechitzes is not enough, it's not maspik to give Hashem Shayach. You need to be Mukkah Mechitzes, there's no ogetelt Mechitzes. So when Rashi holds, Bal Korchach, if an Omer is Shayach, it's only because you have good asik. So mainly you have good asik, and once you have good asik, you have a Rukiah. But Rashi holds you need good asik, and on the B'Tavishach, the Rashi holds you have good asik. The man holds you don't have good asik. So Rashi going to learn the Gemara, like the computer Gemara, when the Gemara is being mechitz in the chorus, that's only halacha. It's not a chazor. We hold good asik on the tail, and that's the way. That's the only way a tail verta shayachid is only because of good asik. And Alam Mozak good asik. And the Gemara saying it was not the sport here in Hilchas mechitz is from Sukkah in the Tfanos Mamash mechitz in the chorus. And Ramban learns that the Gemara is a chazorah, and Rava's ding is like on the whole Yisod of Abai. And he's saying that being mechitz in the chorus, b'chal to say good asik, you don't have good asik. And Memail, you don't have a rakia, and the shayachid you won't have good asik. It yet tells the Rashi, the computer, steer on Rashi. Rashi by Yun says that you need a zayinu mashu to be able to say good asik. That means when you say good asik, you have to be down, ki'ilu, a mashu goes up. And you have to cut off a mashu go up. And Rashi alone holds that Shayachid, and Omer only has Hashem Shayachid. Und Rashi, Svavos steht allemal in Shabbos and Erev and Umatum, steht that Shayachid, a Rochav Dalet, and Omer, Rochav Dalet, and Gavaya Yud has Hashem Shayachid. Before like Rashi, you should need Rochav Dalet or Mashu. And steht nicht nirgends, nicht in Gemara, nicht in Rashi, wird nicht der Mann nirgends. The Shayachid needs Dalet or Mashu. The same way Rashi holds that in order for a sukkah, to with good asik, to have a shir sukkah, you need a zayin or mashu. The every omer, the shayachid, to become a Shayachid. If Rashi holds it's only Shayachid on Duch Gerasik, and Rashi's Gerasik has to be done that a Mashu goes up, you have to give away a Mashu for the Gerasik, say, but you should need $1 of Mashu, that you should be able to blind with a Shiur $1, take the Mechitzes after the Gerasik. The Heure Computer, Kush Atzum, das Rashi, ich kann nicht sagen, der verstellt sich auf Rashi, der Heure, Leute Rashi, was sollte nicht sein, Mashu bei Zucker, ich nehme $1 Mashu bei Shabbos. So, Chatzi ist keine Woche, Gold Sache auf dem Apostelwort. Das ist nicht von Heint, das ist am meisten von Bestombe, und ich was, Bestombe 17, 18, after. Ich sag das Wort. Ich habe es verschrieben bei mir von Jahren zurück. Ich gesagt, dass in Gemara's before, if you have a mokum that you have a gather around the mokum, and it's only together with the thickness of the wall, it's $1. It means toich inside don't have $1, but with the thickness of the wall, you have a bechitza around the mokum, and have an opening inside. And together with thickness of the wall, it's $1. Steht in Gemara that it has a Torah Shayachit, Favos, because you could put a board on top, and you'll have a Mokum Mishtamshus $1. It's called that I have a Mokum Mishtamshus $1. The Chaim is Masber, the Tak only gives a Torah Shayachit, only the rim on top, not the Gabi inside, because inside Tak don't have a Mokum Mishtamshus there, $1. But across the top, you could put a Manach Medium Mishtamers. So on the top, you have a Mokum Mishtamers $1. Durch these walls, you have a Mokum Mishtamers $1. So it's like I have a Mokum Mishtamers $1. But the time that you see from the Gemara, that the whole din $1 is not just a cost of a Shiur Rishus, a Rishus darf haben $1. No, a Shiur darf haben a Mokum Royal Mishtamers, and a Mokum $1, a Mokum Royal Mishtamers. But the time that so that's why you don't need by an Omid on Shabbos, you don't need a $1 of Mashu, because even though you say Gerasik, so in Din, if it will be stomach, there's a cost of a Shiur Rishus, so then you have to be done. And if Gerasik means you have to take a be done that a Mashu goes up and you cut off a Mashu, so then you have to be left with a Shiur Rishus of $1. But if that's not there's a cost for the Shiur. No, it's not try, they need a Mokum Royal Stampus of Shayach. So the Messias saying Gerasik to the imaginary Mechitza, it doesn't stay the Mokum Stampus. So I have a Hilchos Mechitza of $1, but I have a Mokum Royal Stampus, the full $1. It doesn't stay the Mokum Stampus. The fact that the Lomdus have to be done, that the Mashu goes up, it doesn't stay the Mokum Royal Stampus. That's one of the time to find for why Rashi all over doesn't say you should need $1 of Mashu by B'Shoyach v'Shabbos. Or yes, Sukkah. So yes, that I've done the Sukkah. What's the Shiur from Zayin al Zayin? Zayin al Zayin is today for Rosh Hashanah. You need a mokum that Rosh Hashanah. So Ken Zayin, the Marshot Tainat Rashi, they shouldn't need Zayin u'Mashu. So before we were going, that the Marshot holds that you don't have to be Choytach Mashu. You can just be Moishech, the imaginary Mechitza, you don't have to be Choytach Mashu. You have enough for the Zayin al Zayin. So you want the Tainat that Lo'olam, the Kupin Marshal is also masking that good asik means chatoich, and you have to be choytach mashu. But it's invited. Could be just like in Shabbos. The Marshal is tiny, just like in Shabbos. The Shiur is only a Shiur, a royal establishes, and for that, good asik is not going to stay. So could be in Sukkah Zeichazeh, the Shiur was learned that you need a Zayin al Zayin because you need a mokum. It's only a mokum royal deer if it's a mokum where you can fit Rosh Hashanah. Dollar mice I can fit Rosh Hashanah. I have a Hilchos Mechitza to leave Gerasik, but doesn't stay the mokum Mishtamsh. I still have the full mokum Mishtamsh. So I have a Zayin royal Mishtamsh. Rashi himself by Sukkah Zayin Mashu Hagam. Rashi but in Shabbos like this does it. The $1 alone $2. So he said you have to say that's like a choluk. So he was moist to say, so ich habe es gesagt, that it could be, Rashi holds, that's the Shiloh Rashi Mashot. Rashi holds that in Sukkah, Haint is the Hilchos Shiur from Zayin al Zayin. You need a Shiur Haroi for Rosh Hashanah. But there's a Hilchos Shiur, and what's a Hilchos Shiur? You have to be done after you say Gerasik to have a Shiur for a hilchah shiur for sukkah, take some chitzes. So Jesus could ask you to be done. Masha goes up, so Rashi held that you have to take, it has to go up, like the Yeshua time. And Rashi held that Heinz found a hilchah shiur, and the hilchah shiur you need a zayin, take some chitzes. The Marsho times on Rashi that you shouldn't need the Marshu. It should be enough zayin. Because the Marsho held that sukkah is azevi b'zach by Shabbos, and sukkah is echt is tamach zeh sakosef on a shiur. That's only because you need a mokum or haroi for dira, which is a mokum zayin al zayin. And it was eight. So then, even if you have a grasik, and you have to be down, the kilo goes up. It doesn't stay at the mokum roy l'shtamps. It have mokum shtamps zayin al zayin. I should say first a few words of Haroche l'zichru echet. This is b'meshach the shiva u'nochadem. I came to realize that Hagamach Gemeita was Kemat, his closest person. Since my wife Hashem was nifter, he called me every single day for the last Kemat 11 years. If he missed, I would call him, but Kemat every single day. Called me Erev Shabbos to get a broch, and I managed to bench my children Friday night, and we wasn't home, so he wanted the broch. He didn't want to be mevat after the broch Friday night. He called me Erev Shabbos. I just give him the broch over the phone, the Friday night broch on the phone. That's been jeden Tag. Ich gemeint, ich kenne ihn ein bisschen. And I realized, Meshach the Shiva, at so viel master given, what he was and what he did, that mamish I didn't begin to know him b'chla. Because moyes mamish, that he had ken hasoge mamish ve'er given. And ich was auch gleich, that wenn der Mensch feinste wird gekommen, gepaskend Hashaila, so keiner wird sich gedungen, no one be matmir am Moshe's Psach. So der Ebisch hat gepaskend ab Psach, das ist die beste Sache für ihn und für uns. Der Ebisch hat aber Rachem und gepaskend, für seine Schaum, das ist der größte Tellus, und das für uns. So besser, man darf das suchen zu verstehen. Der Ebisch hat gepaskend, der Ebisch ist weniger wie der Moshe feinste. David hat gepasst, der Psach ist Poshet, und du darfst wissen, dass David gepasst ist die beste Sache für uns. Noch gesagt, als Evi in der Beine Mitzvahs sagen Timing für Mitzvahs, Chinnach, der Rambam, der Wuchem, und der Chinnach ist Masber, der Vater, man tut nicht ein Mitzvahs, der Tam, man tut das ist was David hat geheißen. Ob bei ihm, wir können geben ein Tam, das ist ein Geschmack in der Kima Mitzvahs, aber wir können geben ein Tam. So, ich meine, man darf nicht geben, wir verstehen, dass was David tut und Teufel. Aber wir können es verstehen, das ist like go von Time mit das muss doch mal in den Sachen haben. Wir können ein bisschen verstehen, was David da getan. Ist like go von Time mit das. Efter ein bisschen gehört, wie viel er tut getan. In 27 years, habe ich verstanden, dass er tut getan, so viel wie most people do in 9 years. Und zumal wenn sein Tafkit, und sein Tafkit, ist zugenommen, schon noch. Biesig Sorossen sein gesund, told me over, das wird gebracht, dass der Schome after his Mal als Tafkit ist eine Schome, gefährliche Zeit von der Schome to stay in this world the next minute. Der Schome platzt, er rausgehen von der Welt after his Mal als Tafkit. Und dort war ein Meister von 1 Sekunde auf der nächste, Mamisch von second, am ist der Schike Mamisch von 1 second to the next. Weißt du, der Schome ist auch getan, auch getan mit seinen Schachers, er auf dem Weg zu Tkiyas, und es ist mal wieder ein Tafkit, der Meile, sie geplatzt da weg, das ist zugenommen. Kann ein bisschen verstehen. Ein paar Dogmas von Sachen, was Mamisch hat Flog ist, was gehört werden, mit einem Mamisch had no idea. He never talked about himself, never told me. And thinking back now, I remember one time as I read anything he did, and he had nothing, he never talked about himself. Told my Adam lessons, he asked if he files taxes. So he said, I don't really have much money to give taxes on. I said, I see, come on. He was doing Baruch Hashem lessons, he was very much in the music world. When he was doing, he was 3 jobs a week for Cholapachas. And he took $2,000 a job. He was making at least $6,000 a week on average. He didn't have any money to give. So he said, what do you mean? I take 1/5 for myself, what I make, and I give 4/5 to Stocker. So I'm not really left with much money. So what's good? I was nudging him lately, a while back. He still had an easy pass on my account when he started driving years ago. I told him, Chatzi, you're richer than I am, and you're driving all over the world. And he fought in the 5 towns, in the Queens, and in the country, and here and there. Ich told them bills, and maybe it's about time you switch. This is a few weeks before I he told me, I'll switch to my account soon. It'll also be on it. He didn't tell me, he didn't think of telling me, do you think I'm so rich? Zoals wissen, ich habe nicht kein Geld. He didn't mention a word. And the Kemos gesagt, I never had any remez, any hint to the fact that he gives away some Geld, I've ever gesagt. A few weeks, about 2 weeks before Shoshana, I told him that I want to send a check to his yeshiva. It's by the Cohen's yeshiva in Lakewood, in Lasachio. I want to send a check to the yeshiva. I asked him exactly how you write it out. It's a congregation, a yeshiva. So he asked me, what's up, he's sending a check now? I said, it's Far Yom Deroim. It's not like I give them so much money over the years. I wasn't paying full tuition. I said, yes, I have some Geld, so I want to send him a check. He didn't tell me anything. After the Petira, this Roshibim of Tali Cohen came in. He said, you should know, for the last couple of years, at the end of every month, he gave me his credit card. And he told me I should pay the yeshiva's bills with his credit card. Pay the gas, the electric, the water bills. He said, I didn't even know how much I was paying. I thought it was $100. I look over the bills. He brought me the statements. He dug up the bank statements. He brought me to the shiva, the statements. He started going through the statements. Showed $500, $600, $450. For years, he said, he's paying the yeshiva's bills. So what gemeint that if I was clogging to him that I haven't given so much money to yeshiva lessons, so he would have told me, but Daigenis does it good. Daigenis says, I feel I'm giving him, don't worry. He didn't say a word. He didn't want me to think. I was feeling bad that I was paying, that I wasn't giving money. It is the amount kevort that don't worry, I'm giving him money for years. It's going on for years already. He's paying the yeshiva's bills. How many Bochum he kept up with? Bochum was struggling. There's a mindset going around, Bochum at Yisrael, who won't learn to go to yeshiva, and Nebuch afterwards, he glitched the trays and ganz up from there. And Bochum Nebuch pierced ears with earrings. Nebuch in ganzen, called the man, Motzei Shabbos, we heard the Psura, his mom was crying bechias. He said, I want to do something for Heinz. So your man tells him, you know what he wants from you. He says, I'm ready to change for Schos. So where should I start? I can't do everything. The kid's fry. So what should I do? So your man told him, I'll call you back. And he ran to door with somebody he asked Shilas to. So your man, the yeshiva, by Nadov, my son used to ask Shilas to, and all Shilas asked, you want to ask him, what do you hold that you tell him? He said, tell him you want to learn Mishnah Day over the phone. This book is in Eretz Yisrael now. He said, you make up a time, it's Tim's for you and for him, 9:30 in the morning here, it's 4:30 there. Every day you learn 5 minutes on the phone, learn a Mishnah. I got asked him, he came into Menachem. I asked him, why point did you think of that? Why don't you tell him, he's put on film? He said he has experience, he says he's done it before, and it's much better. So then once they were talking, so he said, why we just keep it just between us? Let's start posting it every day and we'll put it on status or WhatsApp. I don't know, because I'm just always going to Sprachen for these Sachen, I don't know exactly what they are, but it's all going to post it every day. And they're going to have people sign up to learn a Mishnah Day. They post the Mishnah with the tights from Ansco. This Rabbi Native tights the Mishnah, they have a voice of recording, and they have people. So this was a few days after Lilui. They had 320 people signed up to learn a Mishnah Day. And the Shigaman told me that the pictures show up when they sign in. He says there's quite a few of them wearing earrings. And they bochum that the ganze frei, and they took upon themselves to learn a Mishnah. This bocher told the Yigaman, he says the only person that kept up with me always was Katz. He said when I was in yeshiva, he was learning by the Cohen's yeshiva, and he came over me every day to see how I was doing. And Cherem says, his Yigaman was somebody who's a shocher of Muncie. He has a nephew who was that's Gemutzit. And he's living in Florida now. Alter Bacher, he came in for Lilui. He came to Menachem. And 2 days later, his uncle came in. He said, you should know, that nephew of mine you saw. He said, who do you think kept him on track? He said, Heinz kept up with him. There's a lady where I live in Lakewood, in the neighborhood, called my wife during the Shiur. And she has two struggling teens. And she told my wife that Chatzi left a message, Erev Rosh Hashanah, for his sons. She checked up on them. On the winter, good year, see how they're doing. Seder, ring meisem. How many broken and broken? How many divorced chevra? And the man came in to be crying with pchias. He was so close, he showed me on his phone, showed me pictures of his feet playing piano in his house. And that's my daughter. And after he left, my wife tells me he happens to have a daughter in my school. He's a divorced guy, it's a broken in man. And Chatzi was a mechazik. And say that how many people he took care of, and a mechazik in the music world. He was very much like, I feel he never told me. I thought he was still the kid on the block trying to make it. He always complained to me, I don't know, he doesn't have jobs. He had from the mention in the business as he came from the Betzlachim and the very stark reckon with them, and he never told me anything. Kenny Rosenberg is the CEO of El Al. He once heard him playing and singing someplace. It was a ganze Verkäufer, and he started taking for all the simchas, for all his company corporate events. He never mentioned me a word. Somebody's Trump's lawyer, he tells the Welt, I'm Trump's lawyer. What gemeint, he would have told me at some point that, I do all the jobs. Never mentioned a word about anything. I heard from a lot of chaverim. He said that we're at least 100 chevre who are loosely connected, singers and keyboard players, verschiedene sorten. And he said that we're not all chaverim with each other, but Chatzi was a chaver with everyone. He was the glue that held everyone. He was the brich hatichen that kept everyone together. And the zweite young man was sitting there, and he said, you should know, he was the Rosh Hashiva from the ganze island. He said he was the mentor. If you had a problem, he was the therapist. If you went to play on a job with him, you stayed up till 4 o'clock in the morning with him and told him your problems. And he was the therapist. At Aruz Gehat Mensch, he was a moerdike Balkishran. He had a gewaltige chush in Teitschik of a Mensch. Again, to the bottom of his problem. He said he was the therapist of the ganze island. They were telling me that this was the week of the P'tira. They were showing me on the phones that each one got messages from each other. The Can I come over? I need chizuk. He said the oil was crying, and they're all saying that the only person that could have told us wie zu gehen weiter ist Chatzi, nicht da. Gewann der Mann von kein Mensch gehört kein Wort von them. How many people he kept up with? How many people was bechazik? How he was when the Mann von a ganze Oilam. Kein Mensch gehört von them. The bocher in my shul told me over a Maisa. He said that he was a Mesifta in Lakewood. And the Menal of the Mesifta, it was before Purim Cotton. And the Menal was nervous that Ben would be a bit let loose a little bit Purim Cotton. So he promised them that if the Oilam behaves in Purim Cotton, then for Rosh Chodesh, Adar Sheni, he's going to treat them to a singer who comes to Shiur. So comes before Rosh Chodesh Adar Sheni, so he takes $100, he gives it to his bar, and he says, this is for the singer. $100. He said, a good singer, my father was taking $2,000. It's a collector. So he started collecting, he said, we collected the 5s and 10s in the Oilam. They made $250 in the Oilam. He said, $350. So he said, start calling singers. Can you come down to play in yeshiva? $350. So I was gelacht for him. He said, for 15 minutes I could come. For $350, I can come 15 minutes. He called Chatzi. And first Chatzi told him, he said, I'm booked for 3 jobs that night. In the afternoon, in the evening, and at night, that shaykh had 3 jobs. 3 jobs of $6,000. The next night he calls the bocher back. He says, you sound like a young bocher. Is this for the yeshiva? It's for Mesifta. He said, yeah. You know what? He says, I like to sing for bocher. That's my heart is for bocher. I'll come for an hour. He said, but make sure one thing. Make sure you have a decent keyboard player. Make sure don't get up a kid doesn't know what he's doing. Get up an adult, someone knows. He was on the phone with them, verstanden music, and he was very marked. The bocher tells me, they looked around, at the end, they couldn't find anybody. So he said they brought a ninth grader, your mom didn't know how to play. He starts playing, and then the mic died. Now, ik was allemaal voelig that the sound system had to be, I remember he used to go to Cincinnati every year. He used to bring him in every year, Sukkot. And he said it wasn't the greatest Gelte, but he used to like it. The whole community came, it was Avar Matzah. But he used to call the young man that took care of it to make sure he goes to the right music store to get the right sound system. He comes in, there's no mic, the Bach didn't know what he's doing. He stayed for 4 hours instead of 1 hour. When he finished, so he starts telling the Bach, and this Bach in my shul starts reckoning me, he's telling me how he explained it. He didn't just tell him, you played so well. He starts reckoning nice. I liked the way you did this note here, and the chords here you did nice. The harmony of this one, he goes through a whole settle Sachen. He said, the Bach did not know how to play. And he says, he's going through a whole settle Sachen. Then he says, do you have a card? Can I have your business card? Maybe I'll call you next time I need someone to play. He didn't have a card, so give me your number. He wrote down his number. And maybe next time if I need someone to play, he goes out to his car, and he comes back, and he's looking around, where's the Bach that played with me? He calls over Bach and says, how much did they pay you from the yeshiva? He said, they didn't pay me. I'm from the yeshiva, I'd play. He took out $100, they gave the Bach. This Bach was telling me the Maisa, went home. He tells his father in Lepach, was a Maisa, somebody by Shul was killed in a Maisa in Atlantic City. It was the father of this Bach. It was a Tzaddik Yid. And the Bach tells his father that Katz came and sing, and we paid him $350. He gave back $100. I know he takes $2,000. I'm sure I feel I'm embarrassed. So the father said, I'm going to pay him the whole thing. So he called my son up. He said, I want to pay you. So he said, Nishno, I'm not taking a penny for you. He said, better I should pay you. So for me, the best I know is to sing for Bach. I really should pay you. He said, I'm not taking a penny. Oh, but Nishno them, he said, the Bach, after he told me this Maisa, he went back to yeshiva. He told over the Maisa. He came back the second time to Nachamova, the second time, and he told me over them. I went back and I told over the Maisa. He says there was a Bach in yeshiva who knew Chayzvi, and they all said big deal. It was like that every day. It was Maisa B'chayim like that. And the people, I told them to tell over the Maisa again for the one who was sitting there by the yeshiva, and there were a lot of friends of Chayzvi sitting there, and all the Geshalka would look up. Big deal. It was no matter. A man should be able to do that one time. Because a mice was passed for. Is there any other singer you call him for? He told me he didn't even ask him how much money he's ready to pay. He said, I'm coming from Bacham. Anybody else, $350, they hung up the phone on you. And he came and he asked for one thing, that there'd be a decent player, keep on playing. Anybody else would have walked out. He didn't say a word. It's reingehalten, the Savonis, he played. He stayed there 4 hours without a mic. He complimented the Bacher, asked him for his business card, he'll call him for next time, gave the Bacher $100, and then didn't want to take a penny for the job after he gave up $6,000, the job that he lost. And the Oilem hat gesagt, das war meist im Cholje. However, ich soll bis 120 Jahre keine Zukunft als auch mit ist. Ich habe nicht gewusst, als gewinnt Pastor sagt, oder Gott gab ein Rabbe, in his Gabres, in Midas, in Verstehen jenem, in Sensitivity zur Woche, in der Pastor, es ist Gabres, Gabres, was er. Das ist noch ein Meise. I heard from a young man, a Schwager, it's schwer, it was 50 years ago. Schwager is a Tzabrocher, he was a Yossam from a young age. That's a Bracha, and the mother remarried. The Bracha doesn't get along with the mother since she remarried. Geld. And he walked into a place to buy something to eat in Lakewood one day, and he had $20 to his name. Chayzvi was put there when he walked in, and he knew the Bracha a little bit from around, and he stopped right away to matzah. He tells the Bracha, it's on me, buy whatever you want, I'll pay for it. So this young man who told me the Maisa, so my Shwager told me, he says, the first time anyone looked at me, anyone thought about me was Chatzi Katz. No one ever cared about me. The first, in Rashi state by Moshe Rabbeinu state Vayetzer Loch Vayavis V'Loisam. So Rashi says Nosam Einoi V'Liboy Lias Meitzim Zerosam. And the Welt skims over the Rashi. Rashi sagt zwei Sachen. To look out for Yanim and to be made with Yanim need two things. You need Nosam Einoi V'Liboy. Number one, you have to have the Simas Ayin to look out for it. have the perception, was fällt jenem. Noch dem der Herz, am hat der Herz und der Simbas ein, sie nachher gehabt, was fällt jenem. Und man hat der Simbas ein und der Herz, sie nachher du für jenem. Es sind zwei Sachen. Und hat gehabt, die beide Sachen, to pick up right away, was fällt jenem. An rumgucken, a zerbrochene, a gegette, wo het noch getroffen, someone, was etwas ausgefällt. Het ist Simbas Leib und der Herz. Was opleiden von dem, man will meistens sein, noch eine Kude, der Welt nur in den letzten Jahren als ein Singer. Man muss nicht sagen, ich gehört von den Menschen in Yeshiva, and the man from Shiur was very close, I have lost this for years, his room is. He said, the Welt hat das Haus. He said, you would come see me in Besmedisch, schlagen sich allein, and he said, sein Herz, ich kann Besmedisch, he grabbed with music on the side, the Welt ist teuer, sagt man meint das, ich bin ab all Kisch und Hifle. He was eingetan und lernen, and he was in Yeshiva, he was, ich bin die ganze Ruhe heim in Yeshiva there, ich bin die ganze Ruhe heim und lernen, I'm here from the Yeshiva, the guy was almost zerbrochen, so he was it was all besser, as a schreiber or a few books, a famous, he was very close to him. He told me, he says, he was the mentor of the whole Ayim Yeshiva. He says, he was the most, even the Dugel von der Ayim Yeshiva. Und hat sich Master gewesen, ein bisschen unter Musik. Also hat gemacht, Kilo, is into music. Und bei Ätzem sein Essence, sein Messias, gewesen bei der Gemorre, das wird dann nur, das wird sein Leben. Ein bisschen ablernen von der Drogen, das sind die Rest des Hus. Number one, da hat es der Leches, ein bisschen get all over the means begaan, Master sein bei uns, mit tut etwas, so gleich darf sich berimmen mit dem, to be Master, der hat es der Leches, ein Mensch soll keine tun, hat Vloges von Meißen, und keiner soll sich wissen von dem, das ist ein gewaltiger Limit. Und die zweite Sache, das ist immer ein, das ist immer Leben, wenn jener sagt, ich wurde Lidwisch Teufel Amai, Verlichkeit bei mal Nafshe, bei der Chanschaver. I think these are the two things. Lidwisch, to be doish means to seek, to look, Lidwisch Teufel Amai, and then Verlichkeit bei mal Nafshe, zu hören mit der Herz. Und für das habe ich jener, wieso ist mir nach Hamurus an das ist noch Chommes der Sache, was war das für ein Mensch? Und die Kude, ein bisschen mehr, das ist manchmal von der Hamurus, sagt er mir jener, sich abgeben und helfen noch an ihn, to be able to look at was fällt jenem, und das auf der Herz auszuführen, und mit noch gehen, wie wäre das ein bisschen, wenn man es Nishmas.